Hello, this is Frank with ezFinancial Group LLC, and I am going to be your host today. We have an exciting presentation. It is about the exclusive 100% CLTV program where we can do multi-million-dollar deals with zero money out of pocket for the borrower, for the buyer. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away. We've got quite a big crew today, and I'm going to do things a little different. Normally, I start off with a little bit of chit-chat first to give people time to get on, but it looks like we're filling up quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the presentation. The first thing we need to know is, in today's economy, one question, little housekeeping. Whoever's unmuted, whoever's making all that noise in the background, please hit *6 and mute yourself, or hit your little microphone and mute yourself. Okay. I'm going to mute you, Laura, and Glenn, I'm going to mute you. Okay, hopefully I took care of that problem. If you're calling in, you're dialing in, just hit *6. And that will mute you. All right, shall we start again? We have ezFinancial Group has 36 plus years experience in funding and in financing of every sort. So you have behind you enough experience to do practically any type of loan available. But in today's economy, what we need to do is we need to be different and better than everybody else. And so the way that we're achieving that is by coming up with exclusive programs. So we are going to be arming you with exclusive programs that nobody else has, such as our 125% buy, fix, and flip program. If you follow my lead, and if you associate with the real estate crew, people who are involved in buying and selling real estate, that means real estate agents, that means real estate brokers, that means investors, that means RIA groups, real estate investment groups. If you associate yourself with those kinds of people, you will have many, many products that you'll be able to market to those people. So we're going to start off with one that's an extremely exciting product, and it is the 100% CLTV program. So what exactly does a 100% CLTV program mean? Well, first of all, get the PowerPoint presentation to work. Come on. There you go. It means that we're going to do 100% funding on a building. The building could be a $1 million, $2 million, $10 million building. Could be $500,000. I don't think they want to go much lower than $500,000 for a commercial building. But it would be 100% funding is what we're going to achieve. And what it's going to take is no money out of pocket. Laura, I've got one heck of a feedback from you. I'm going to mute you again. And okay, I wish I had a moderator that could just keep everyone muted. Okay. So moving along briskly, hit *6 if you're joining us. Moving along briskly, no money out of pocket, no credit, no income verification, no tax returns. Guys, anyone who bought any commercial building ever knows they have to produce a ton of tax returns for the last 3 years, profit and loss statements, all kinds of information. We're asking for none of that. No bank statements, no credit check, no hoops to jump through. This is purely 100% funding, and there's no hoops to jump through, making us the only ones on the planet that is doing this. So what I'm giving to you is an exclusive program that you will have zero competition with. The scenario would be like this. The property must be sold. There are a million reasons why properties have to be sold, but the property's got to be sold for whatever reason. However, the property's not moving. No one, they're not either not getting any nibbles, it's not a property that's easy to sell, and it's simply not moving. The seller has to be a highly motivated seller. If the seller has all the money in the world and no pressure, probably not your best choice. However, if the seller is under a lot of stress to sell, a lot of pressure, he's going to be the kind of a client that we can certainly help. Why is the seller so motivated? Well, it could be that he's in foreclosure. It could be that his insurance has been canceled and he's living on the edge because no matter what happens to his property, he could lose it if anything happened without insurance. It could be that he's gone out of business. Perhaps the client or the company's been around for 100 years and they've just simply gone out of business. Could be that the owner is retiring, again, went out of business, retired, just no longer has the ability to keep the building going. We had a couple of them where the owners of the building did something wrong and they were in jail. And obviously they can't make the payments from in jail, so they'd be really, really happy to have us help them sell that building in a hurry. It could be something that was inherited by the children of the owner, and perhaps the children have no interest whatsoever in that type of building or even that city. They may have moved away to California or whatever, so they may not be interested in it, etc., etc., etc. There are literally a million reasons why somebody would want to sell their building and would want to move it quickly. What we do, this is the deal, this is how we achieve the deal. We find a motivated buyer and we have a motivated seller, and we bring the two of those people together. Now, I'm going to use $2 million for this example. It could be any amount. It could be $500,000 to $5 million or more. Just follow the concept and you'll get it. The numbers don't really matter. So let's say the building appraised for $2 million. We put up $1 million cold, hard cash. The seller is going to get that $1 million cold, hard cash in the hand, or we're going to pay off the note, whatever. The person is going to be out from underneath that building. The closing cost is completely negotiable between the seller or the buyer. Remember, this is 100% CLTV, so the buyer may not have any money to close. He may need the seller to close. And the seller just got $1 million in their hand, so they may be willing to pay the closing cost in order to move the building and bring it to the new buyer. The rehab is negotiable as well. The seller or the buyer, either one of them, could elect to pay whatever rehab it takes to spruce up the building and get it marketable for a new tenant, or if the buyer is going to flip it. The buyer might want cash at close. That too is negotiable. In the old days, it was a very, very common practice. When somebody bought a building, they could ask for X number of dollars above the cost of the building, and they could literally walk away with cash in their pocket when they bought the building. That's gone away pretty much for residential buildings, but it's still available for commercial buildings. So there are good reasons why the buyer might need cash. The buyer might need to put a new facade on the building to make it, modernize the look of the building. The buyer may need to do some major renovations to the inside of the building. Whatever the reason, we don't know what the reason is, but the buyer may want cash at close, and that is negotiable. The seller can agree to pay the buyer money at close so that the buyer actually walks away with money. We'll come in the first lien position, and we'll fund the seller 50% of the appraisal. As I mentioned in this example, it was a $2 million building. We're going to fund the seller $1 million, and that leaves $1 million on the table. The seller will take a lump sum payment of the $1 million cash in his hand, and then we'll suggest the seller carry back a second, thus avoiding the crushing capital gains tax and facilitating a close that would otherwise never happen. Now, this, I have to caution people, we are not tax consultants. Do not hold yourself out as a tax consultant. We don't know the tax situation that each individual person is in. Everyone is in a different situation. And the capital gains tax, you're not a tax consultant and you can't give tax advice. But what I can tell you is in the past, people have avoided paying huge capital gains tax that completely devour their profit just in tax alone because of a windfall profit tax or capital gains tax. By doing it this way, they avoid being taxed on $2 million because they didn't actually get the $2 million. They only got $1 million. Okay, so to recap, we've sold the building for the person. It was a $2 million building. We put up 50% or $1 million. The seller put up the other 50% or $1 million and did an owner financing. This is a win-win-win for everyone. The buyer gets to buy the building. The seller sells the building, and we get paid. Like I said, this is a win-win for everybody. If there are multiple offers on the table, it's not likely that they'll accept our offer. However, if the situation with the property or the seller warrants it, they may take our offer. And if they do take our offer, they will thank us for solving a problem that no one else had the vision to solve. So what you need to do is go out and find these properties, associate with real estate agents, associate with brokers, associate with business brokers, submit your deals in your agent portal, in your back office agent portal, under the input leads. Be very specific about the description and what you're trying to do. And then contact your underwriter. It's that simple. So what I want to do is thank you very much for being quiet and not distracting me a whole lot. I really appreciate that. And I'd like to introduce you to your dedicated underwriters. Our head underwriter is Michelle. Michelle, are you with us?
Hey, Frank, I'm right here.
Hey there. So Michelle would like to say just a few things about yourself and any deals that you're working on currently. Exciting.
No, of course. I actually have 17 deals in the pipeline right now, and 6 of them are
17 deals? How did that happen?
17 in the pipeline, 6 are real estate, and 2 are actually the 100% CLTV program. So anybody that has these types of deals and you need myself or Frank to get on a conference call with the seller to make them understand this, don't hesitate to ask. I think that's always best. I'm going to be doing a call later today with a seller to walk through the 100% CLTV. So anyone has any questions, yeah, don't hesitate, shoot me an email, give me a call. Always available.
All right. Well, don't anyone shoot Michelle. She's great. Just shoot an email.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're
How
welcome.
how about Nikki Love? Nikki, are you with us?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so I've got up on the screen Nikki's contact information. Nikki has about 26 agents, I think, assigned to her. If you are assigned to Nikki, go ahead and copy down Nikki's information so that you can reach out to her when you have some hot deals going on. So Nikki, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Frank and I have been friends for quite a few years, and I'm really excited to be here. I've got a background in sales, telemarketing, customer service, and it's Frank and some of the other underwriters are aware I have really great computer skills. I'm really excited to be here. I think I said that already. And please contact me so I can help you get your deals across the finish line.
And so what Nikki's going to be doing is she's going to be calling each one that have been assigned to her. If you're currently working on a deal, please share that deal with Nikki because she's going to help you get it over the finish line. That's the important part. If we don't close the deal, nobody earns any money. And that's why I have set up 5 underwriters, and these underwriters are going to be dedicated to specific teams. And if you're on Nikki's team or any team, make sure you reach out to your underwriter because they can get the deal over the finish line by hook or by crook or whatever it takes. They can get them across the finish line. Thank you so much for that, Nikki. We're looking forward to working together very closely.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. Next one is Laura. Laura, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Frank. How are you?
Okay, I'm fantastic. I understand you're a little bit under the weather. Thank you for making it on the call. I appreciate that.
I want to be over the weather soon. I'm tired of it.
Okay, again, Laura's information is up on the screen. If you've been assigned to Laura, you should be copying down her information, and Laura will be reaching out to you. Make sure you exchange information and make sure that you share whatever it is that you're doing so Laura can help you get it over the finish line. That's the important thing. Everyone gets paid when the deal goes over the finish line. We're working as a team, and we all want to be team players. So do you have anything else you'd like to add to that, Laura?
I just want my team to know that I'm available for them 9 to 6 respectfully Eastern Standard Time. Email, phone, I'll be there for you. And my goal is for us, like Frank said, get everything over the finish line.
Okay.
Oh, must I mention, before she makes me mention it, I am Michelle's sister.
You don't score any extra points for that.
I don't want the extra score, but I just don't want my sister to say it again for me.
Okay. All right. Well, today's presentation is kind of short. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be allowing you to have this presentation that I just did. You will have the contact notes. So when you do a presentation like this publicly over a Skype or a webinar type presentation, you can issue notes to the people and they can take notes as they go along with the presentation. I'm going to give you all of the information about the program as well as the script. And so you yourself can go to the different RIA groups and you can put these 10-minute presentations on. You can do this with any other type of group, like networking groups do it all the time. Judy, are you on the call? Judy does those kind of groups. How about
Yes,
Alice?
sir. I am on the call.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tell us a little bit about. I'm sorry, unfortunately, guys, I didn't get an email from Judy with her signature line, so I don't have it up there for you. She can give
So
you that
sorry.
information. And
Yeah,
she'll-
I was busy trying to contact people, Frank, and I didn't get your email in time to respond.
it's okay. It's okay. Next week we'll do this again. We will
Okay.
be having a different exclusive program every week. But so tell us a little bit about how you would go to your networking groups and share this with people.
Well, I live in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and it is famous for small business. It's really a growing community and huge with small business. And therefore, we have a lot of different kinds of networking groups with only one person per industry. So I tend to try to be in more than one group. There's BNI, PowerCore, local groups. The Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce has a networking group. So I reach out and partly I just make relationships, because from the relationships comes referrals of people that maybe aren't in the business, but they know somebody. So it's more about who you know and what your relationships are than strutting your stuff. And believe me, at the networking meetings, everybody gets a chance to say something, but it's more about relationship development and those referrals that come from it. Been doing this a long time. I've been in the networking scene since 2000.
Wow. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have you give a little bit of a 10-minute presentation about
I'd love to.
how to find
Yeah.
the network, how to
Yeah.
get in front of the people, and then how to put on one of these exclusive programs for them.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Judy. Last but by no means least, I'm going to call out to Alice. Alice, are you with us?
I am with you.
You speak up a little bit. We can just barely hear you.
My name is Alice Brett, and I live in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I come from the restaurant industry, and I'm also a real estate investor, and looking to help people make business easier.
Okay. Well, by being a real estate investor, when you see these exclusive programs, tell me what you feel about the exclusive programs.
I've never seen a program offer 125% funding. So I'm really excited to bring this to the real estate groups that I belong to, and I've already contacted the lenders, or the leaders that have started them. So I'm really excited about that.
So the people who are on your team, and I think you've got about 22 if I remember, the people that are on your team are going to have the extra benefit of you've got the experience in real estate investing, so you can really help your people connect with other real estate investors across the country.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Okay. Well, guys, this is the first time that I finished up 5 minutes early as opposed to 5 minutes or 10 minutes late. So I'm feeling good. If there's anyone who has any kind of a question or would like to speak to either one of the underwriters, this would be a great time. I've got 5 minutes before closing. So just go ahead and unmute your microphone, shout out where you're calling from, who you are, and just ask your question.
Hey, Frank, I just had a real quick input just for everybody that's on the call. If you're not assigned an underwriter, just email myself and Frank, and we'll make sure that you're placed with somebody.
That's a good point. We do have 300. ezFinancial Group has 350 agents assigned to us, and we get agents every single day. And so because of that, it's been a lot of agents and a lot of deals, actually, I hate to say this, have fallen through the cracks because it was just way 350 agents, and the deals that they have is just overwhelming to Michelle and I. And that's why we now have 5 underwriters, so that your deal does not fall through the cracks. Your underwriter is going to work with you like hand in hand to make sure that all of your deals get the attention that they need. And I always say, and get dragged over the finish line, because that's what we need to do. We need to drag them over the finish line. We need to get that driver's license, get that W-2, get that whatever piece of paper or signature or whatever. We need to have somebody who has the experience, that knows what's needed from the minimums and ideals course that they've all graduated, and able to go ahead and get those documents and get the deal closed, because everybody gets paid when the deal gets closed.
Frank, this is Jeff. I got a question for you. What's the status of the credit sterilization program?
Jeff, I got a question for you. What's the status of the government?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it for the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what's going on.
What, have you been living under a rock?
Never got any information from you on it.
Well, the government, you need to write to your congressman and your senator and tell them that you want them to open the government, whatever it takes. If it takes funding the wall, then fund the wall and open the government. Right now,
the credit sterilization doesn't work because of the government shutdown?
Here you go. Okay, for those who know what the credit sterilization is. Okay, for those who don't know what the credit sterilization is instead of working with credit companies and begging, negotiating, pleading your case before them so that they will forgive or stop reporting you negatively, we, using the laws that are on the book, what we have done is we have set up a program where we can get a court order for the court to stop the creditor from reporting a negative or a derogatory. So if you have negatives or derogatories and you used credit repair, everybody knows that doesn't work. It gets off for a little bit, then it gets right back on again. If you use credit restoration, that works, but it takes 30, 60, 90 days. And if you've got the deal of the century, you don't have 90 days to wait. You need your credits straightened out right now. So we're using a program that takes 14 days. What we do is we first have to get with the administration, and it is the Social Security Administration. We have to validate your Social Security number that it is you. Second thing, and they're on leave right now. They are on the department that we work with is on temporary furlough, is what they call it, while the government is shut down. Then we get to the judicial system, and we have to get a court docket. We can't get those because we're at too low a level on the dockets. There are millions ahead of us, and those lower individuals are on furlough. And then there's one other program, and I don't remember what it is, but we have to touch the government 3 times. When we touch the government these 3 times, what happens is whatever negative or derogatory you have on your credit, in 14 days, we get it wiped out. It is no longer being reported, and it will not be reported again for 7 years. So we block it for 7 years. If you're in the process of buying the deal of the century because you found a $300,000 home that you can buy, fix, and flip for $100,000 and make $100,000 profit on it or more, you can't do it because there's something wrong with your credit. Well, guess what? We're going to go in, we're going to wipe out whatever's negative or derogatory. hopefully you've got some good on your credit. Your score will skyrocket. Then you'll be able to be qualified to buy that property and do the buy, fix, and flip. That's what Jeff is talking about. And Jeff, now I'm sorry I was a little bit silly with you, but the government, as long as the government is furloughed, those three organizations are no longer manned at this moment. As soon as you hear that the government has reopened because the American people got their wall or because some other reason happened and we reopened the government, then the credit sterilization comes back. And again, I might add, another exclusive of ezFinancial Group that gives you all the power and the tools that you need so that you have zero competition in the world. Okay, did that answer that question, Mr. Schwartz?
Yes, I didn't realize the government shutdown affected it. Now I know. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate that for asking. That was a great question. And it gave me an opportunity to take us right to the half hour. All right. Any other questions before we say goodbye?
Yes, Frank Clinton, Houston. On that exclusive program, can we participate on that as well as an investor on the second end or the second position and do a note for the end buyer?
Clinton, I've been living outside of the box, thinking outside of the box so long, I don't know what the inside of the box looks like. And the way that I've lived my life is I've always taken the no, that people generally would say, no, you can't do that. I always took the no and turned it around and find out, how can I do that? What do I have to do that? So this is what I suggest to you. What I suggest to you is if you find $1 million piece of property and you find a motivated seller who is willing to sell that property, and I understand you are a realtor, so that probably puts you again in a little bit of a better position to find these people. But if you find yourself in that position, I would suggest real strongly that you go ahead and step into that buyer's position, because a lot of realtor friends of mine are also real estate investors. So it's not like it's a conflict of interest or anything, as long as it's above board and you're not trying to hide it from anyone. I would suggest strongly that you go ahead and you step into that position and you submit the documents. I feel really strong that we can get you funded and you can be that person that bought a $2 million building with zero out of pocket. Does that answer that question?
Crystal clear.
Thank you for asking that question. It was a great question. Anyone else have anything? Well, guys, we're a little bit over. Now we're 5 minutes over the half hour. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you reach out to your underwriter. If you know who she is, reach out to her, get to know her. She can be your very best friend in the world, because she's going to be the gateway to your payday every single week. So thank you again, and God bless, and we'll see you on the next trip.
Good call, Frank. Thank you.
All righty.